Alright, so we're checking out the Foxeer Foxwhoop 25. This is another 2.5 inch Cinewhoop, and very typical in terms of specs and parts and etc. compared to a lot of other 2.5 inch Cinewhoops out there. We'll cover all the specs here in a second, but I guess the big selling point of this model is that it comes with these quote-unquote indestructible prop guards. And so for those of you that are always frustrated with your 2.5 inch Cinewhoop and having broken prop guards from crashes of various types, they're guaranteeing that these will not break, and if they do break, they will give you a free replacement. You just have to send them a photo of the broken prop guard, and then they'll mail you out a new one. Yeah, so it's an interesting policy in terms of, obviously they're claiming it's indestructible, but just in case it does break, you can get a free one because it has a lifetime warranty, so that's kind of nice. Probably doesn't mean that the carbon plate's included in that warranty. Now, for me, I think Unbreakable stuff is kind of a gimmick because you do want your quad to break somewhere, because you want that energy from those G-forces to go to a place where it's cheap to replace the parts versus expensive. So what happens is, in this example here, when these prop guards receive a lot of force from a crash, instead of the force of that energy breaking the prop guard, that energy is going to get transferred into the main part of the quad and could cause damage to the flight controller or other electronics, maybe the camera. That's sort of the disadvantage of having things that are unbreakable. So something to keep in mind. That's sort of my philosophy on that, but you may agree or disagree. Let me know in the comments below. Typical setup here, you get an all-in-one flight controller. This is the Foxeer Reaper V2 all-in-one, 45 amp ESCs, F7 I believe, pretty standard stuff there. 1404 motors, of course inverted here as a pusher setup, 3850 kV. This is a 4S setup, meant for a 4S 650 LiPo. This is the, not sure if it's this exact LiPo, but something around this size and weight is what this is PID tuned for. And this one here is the DJI system, so it comes with the Foxeer Apollo camera, of course, for DJI. It's a 16:9 camera. I've reviewed this before. Check it out on my channel. And of course the Vista system down here on the bottom, which is attached to this bottom plate. You can get this in a analog version. Also a HD0 version is available as well. Express LRS receiver in mine here. This is a Happy model receiver, I believe. You can get an RXSR XM Plus. Let's see, there's some other receiver versions available. Check it out on their website. Of course, I got a left-hand polarized antenna for DJI here. Sideways mounted battery. Yeah, I think this is a 3mm top plate here, where everything's attached to. It's very, for this 2.5 inch size, it's pretty stiff. Doesn't vibrate or anything like that. It's got a pretty decent PID tune. Didn't experience any major issues in terms of major vibrations. There's a tiny amount of jello in the camera in bright sunlight, but because the way the camera's mounted here is basically there's no vibration dampening on this camera mount. You're going to see a little bit of that. So that's just the way it is as part of the design. But they PID tune this really well, so there's hardly any. These props, they look like gem fans, but they're actually made by Foxeer. And but yeah, they're pretty stiff. I think they sent they did 2 or 3 different iterations of this one. This is the final iteration. I think the previous prototype was a little bit floppy, so it was causing some vibrations, but this one's much, I think they added a little bit more material to the blade so that it doesn't vibrate or move as much. It's pretty stiff. So overall, pretty good. I didn't do any crash testing this one because, that's not, every crash is different. And I bet you anything that if you really wanted to, you could break this if you tried. So, but there's that warranty, so if you need to get a replacement, you can get a replacement. So this is how much it weighs. It's 153 grams, and add the battery here, 230 grams, and then I flew it with this Runcam Thumb Pro 4K camera. I made my own mount here for this frame, and now it's coming at 246.6. So yeah, with this setup here, you can get under 250 grams. So just a quick note on the flight footage you're going to see here from the Thumb Pro. This is actually 2.7K footage because someone asked me for a flight with just the out of the camera settings, which is basically 2.7K, 60 frames per second, 16:9 video, and it's a standard bitrate, so it's 50 megabits, not 60 megabits. Still looks pretty good, but it's got all the stock settings. So basically the sharpness is a little bit high, the contrast is a little bit high. I would adjust all those things. See my first video if you want to see 4K footage with a little bit better settings. And then this is the newest firmware, the 1.17 firmware, with some improvements in the gyro data. So some of the little micro jitters you saw in the first video, I think those are pretty much gone now. You guys can look at the footage and let me know what you guys think. But yeah, they're definitely continuing to make improvements on this, and I'm told that this is a 4.3 sensor, and they will have 4.3 firmware for 4K later. But yeah, I don't really know when that's going to be coming out. So I'm kind of thinking this is probably the same sensor that's in the Runcam 5 Orange, just obviously in a different form factor here with different electronics. So as I mentioned before, the flight characteristics of this were pretty good PID tune, very good control, at least at this weight under 250 grams. If you look at the flight footage, I'm flying kind of slow, kind of as a more or less like a Cinewhoop, and then a bit faster towards the end, but I wasn't doing any kind of racing or freestyle with this because it is a Cinewhoop, and yeah, you can do flippy floppies with this one, but because of these prop guards and because they're kind of heavier prop guards, the flippy floppies aren't really ideal, all that great anyway. But yeah, you can do it if you want, but that's not what I think these are intended for, so I'm not going to bother testing it in that manner. Now, they did send me a extra frame here. So this is a frame kit. You can see the prop guards there. You can see this is the other version, the yellow version, not the green teal version. So I'm going to give this frame away, not in this video. Just letting you know that is going to be given away in August sometime. It's going to be part of a bunch of products I'm going to be giving away next month. And all you got to do is leave a positive comment on any one of the videos in August. And, you can leave as many as you want. Just don't spam the channel. And I'll be picking out random people from, you won't know which video it's going to be pulled out of. Just comment on as many videos as you can. And I will have a announcement at the beginning of August on all the different prizes, but this is one that's going to be one of the prizes. If you're interested in this frame, this will be given away in August. Anyway, that's going to do it for this video. If you have any questions, let me know. Talk to you guys in the next one.